when I was just a child of 4 or 5 years of age, I used to see my great-grandmother, who at that time was over 100 years of age, and she went on to live to 114. So I used to see her in what is generally considered strange or weird ways. Two things about her which really struck me, many aspects to her life, but two things which really struck me were, she would go into the puja room, and my grandfather is a big landlord, and so as family gets richer and richer, the puja room gets crowded and crowded, more and more crowded with extra and extra gods, isn't it so? So as the family got rich, I didn't count, but I'm sure there were somewhere between 40 to 60 gods. It's a huge room with lots of gods, and because everybody has to be pleased so that you don't lose your money, So others go and do their rituals, but she goes there and she was a reasonably tall woman and she had hair right up till her knees. This is, I'm saying, after she's 100. Generally, people said she's a devil of a woman, not because she did something evil to anyone, simply because she laughed. If she laughed, the whole street shook. Women of those generations were not supposed to laugh. But she is a woman who laughed. When she let out her laughter, everything shook around her. Do you laugh or you given up? Good, I hear. So, I don't know how men manage to live with women who cannot laugh. But laughing was a taboo. A woman can laugh gently, but she should not laugh loudly. But she would burst out. Rolling, rollicking laughter, that was hers. So people said she laughs like a devil. I always thought, if devil is the laughing one and God is the crying one, what should be my choice? What's your choice? Devil. If devil happens to be joyful and laughing one and God happens to be serious and crying one, constantly in trouble, what would you choose? So it just always confused me. Oh, devil is the laughing one, why is it so? So she would go into this puja room and she will let her hair loose and she'll sing and dance and cry and laugh. Tears would be flowing and she'd be laughing and singing and dancing. She will take flowers with her feet and throw it to the gods like that. So I would ask her, what's happening with you? What's the matter with you? And she would let out a hoot of laughter and say, oh, you'll know someday, and she would just laugh. She lived up to 114, 113 maybe. At the age of 14, they got her married. And from the time she got married, she started doing tobacco, probably just to handle the marriage. And at the age of 111, she got throat cancer. So don't think that that means you can chew for 99 years. That's not what I'm trying to say. So she got throat cancer and she refused to be treated. She refused to take any medicine. She was in extreme pain, but she did not take a single painkiller. She just bore it with dignity, and she died at 113 or 114. So when we went there, she would come, and if suppose morning breakfast it's given to her, she will go with this breakfast in the backyard, she will look for birds, she will look for ants, and she will put her breakfast here, there. More than 50% of our breakfast would go for all these other creatures. People who think they are wise, they scold her. You're giving away all your food to somebody, you will die. All those people died, but she didn't. She buried her children, she buried quite a few of her grandchildren, she even buried a few of her great-grandchildren. But So everybody is trying to advise her about her health and well-being. But she knew best. And she would feed more than half of her food to the ants. She would sit there in one corner just watching them with tears of bliss flowing from her eyes. And if somebody asked, "What, you gave away all your food?" she would say, "Oh, I'm already full." And this was not an emotional response, this was real for her. If the ants ate, she felt nourished and full. This was real for her. She was not emotionally thinking so. It took me many years to understand actually what was happening with her. It took me many years to find an experience like that in life. When I was 8 years of age, for some reason something happened and I cried, tears came. I felt ashamed of something and tears came. That day I made up my mind, never again another teardrop is ever going to escape my eyes, and became like this. I tightened up everything, and from that day, for many years, I would say almost 17, 18 years, not a single teardrop ever escaped from my eyes, always lived like this. And one afternoon, without doing anything, no distress, no pain, no suffering, no nothing, I was just sitting on a small hill. You familiar with Sannidhilo? Many of you been there to Mysore? So I'm just sitting there, in the middle of an afternoon. Sannidhilo is a very familiar place, it's not that I consider this a sacred place or something. In Mysore, the youth, anything we want to do. If we want to test our motorcycles, we take it up Sannidhilo, ride up Sannidhilo. If we want to have a party, we ride up Sannidhilo. If you fall in love, you go up Sannidhilo. You fall out, you go up Sannidhilo. You have nothing to do, you go up Sannidhilo. So, whatever it is, if you have something to do, it's Sannidhilo, if you have nothing to do, it's Sannidhilo. These things have changed now because of variety, but Sannidhilo itself has changed plenty. So, this is not a religious or a sacred place for me, but if you don't know what to do, ride up Sannidhilo, So one afternoon between two business meetings, I have a little time and I don't know what to do, I rode around the city a little bit and then I rode up Sannidhilo. So this is a place where I have meditated, where I have met friends, where I have trekked and camped since I was a child. Many days and nights I've spent. I know the hill like my home. So this particular rock, which is one of my more familiar spaces, I just went and sat there. I just sat there for some time, my eyes were open actually. I thought this is just about 5–10 minutes. But when I came back to my normal consciousness, about 4.5 hours had passed. I went and sat there around 3 o'clock. It was 7:30 the evening, sun has set, my eyes are open, I'm fully conscious. till that moment I always thought this is me and that is somebody else. I had no issues with anybody, I got along well with people. But still that was somebody else. This is me and that's somebody. Suddenly for the first time in my life, I did not know which is me and which is not me. What was me was just all over the place. The very rock that I was sitting on, the air that I was breathing, the atmosphere around me, the hill, the clouds, the sky, everything had become me. That sounds like a psychological case. But when I shook my head and came back to my normal senses, about 4.5 hours had gone, and for the first time in my adult life, tears to a point where my shirt is wet. And I've always been peaceful and happy, that's never an issue. I lived my life the way I want and I'm happy. I'm successful, everything is going well, nothing is wrong with my life. But this was something totally different. Every cell in my body was bursting with ecstasy, which I had never known before. And tears are simply flowing, even if I try to stop it, it's just simply I'm just delirious, I'm laughing and tears are flowing. Then I shake my head, I'm not somebody who grew up in some spiritual tradition or religion or anything, I'm a skeptic. Grew up on European philosophy, Beatles and, communism and this kind of stuff. I'm Dostoevsky, Camus, Kafka, Marx, these are my influences, so me and all this spiritual nonsense is simply out of question. But here I am bursting with ecstasy for no reason. So when I ask my logical mind, what's happening? The only thing that my mind could say is, maybe I'm going off my rocker, maybe I'm losing my balance. But it was too beautiful, I didn't want to lose it for a moment. I knew I have hit upon something, I don't know what, but I don't want to lose it for a moment, that's all I knew. So those tears when they came, I thought, oh my God, all these years, I thought these bloody tears were a shame and I didn't let one drop come out of my eyes. If you poke my eyes, they wouldn't come. I made myself like that. Here I am, tears flowing and just blown away with ecstasy. So, that day when I just felt these tears, I thought, if these tears of bliss could happen to the whole world, what a magnificent place we would be living in. So it took so many years of work and planning and meticulously doing so many things. Today, we have an Ananda Ala. Are you seeing tears of bliss either upon your cheeks or around you? If tears of blissfulness do not wash your cheeks, you are yet to taste life. Life is yet to touch you. Only the surface is happening. If little core happens, the intensity of that experience will bring tears of blissfulness to you. So we thought just a few drops are not good enough, we must cause a wave. We are very greedy people. I am at least. They're all modest, but they're all just hoping when will Sadguru tire and rest so that we can also rest. Rest we will do when they bury us. Yes? We will rest when they bury us, isn't it? It's time to live. Is that okay? You're all getting so serious, it's scaring me now. Is it okay we'll rest when they bury us, till then we will live? Is it okay? Or you want to rest now? You must decide whether you have come here to experience life or you have come here to avoid life. If you want to avoid life, lethargy, sleep. These are not efficient ways because you will roll in your bed. There are more efficient ways to do it. Yesterday I was telling them, you know, Hussain Sagar is a good place. It even drowned the Buddha, you know You don't remember? Huh? Hussain Sagar is not a simple thing, it even drowned the Buddha. I'm sure it can take you. So if you really want to rest, that will come. Now is the time to live. Don't evolve strategies to avoid life. This is the time to live with as much effervescence as possible, with as much exuberance as possible. This is the time to live, isn't it so? If you're alive, it doesn't matter what's your age, it's the time to live. Isn't it so? You're not saying anything. Are you resting your voices? So, don't try to take in life from a distance. Are you drinking with a straw or you want to jump into it? The juice of life, are you trying to drink it with a straw, with a little distance, or do you want to jump into it?
मात पिता तुम मेरे प्रभु मेरे गुरु मात पिता तुम मेरे प्रभु मेरे गुरु जो है और जो है नहीं सब कुछ तुम हो सद्गुरु मात पिता तुम मेरे प्रभु मेरे गुरु जो है और जो है नहीं सब कुछ तुम हो सद्गुरु माँ ने दिया जन्म पिता ने दिया है नाम माँ ने दिया जन्म पिता ने दिया है नाम अनदेखी एक दिशा बुलाती सुबह हो शाम हर दिशा में अब तुम ही किस दिशा को नमन करूं जो है और जो है नहीं सब कुछ तुम हो सद्गुरु
संवत्सरा पूर्वं नरज्ञान उद्धारणाय समर्पितम् आदियोगिराद्यं सप्तर्षिभ्यो बोधितम् अतिश्रेष्ठम् इदं विशालं विज्ञानम् आदियोगिनं प्रणमाम्यहम् आदियोगिनं प्रणमाम्यहम् आदियो